The Last Signal by Don Simmons. This is one of those books that's been in my to-be-read pile for like 20 years. It just came out, and I've heard so much about this book over the years. I was very excited to finally get around to reading it. It's a science fiction novel with elements of horror. And basically, it's about a guy named John Doe, who is a repairman on an oil rig off the coast of Louisiana in the near future. So, this is set like 20 or 30 years from now. Maybe even less than that. There's been an ecological disaster in the Gulf of Mexico, and the entire ecosystem has collapsed. The ocean is dead. You know, there are fish that are washing up on shore that are filled with tumors and other kinds of, mutations. The oil companies have hired these repairmen to go out and fix the rigs that are still standing because most of them sank. And our hero here, John Doe, he's a drifter. He's kind of washed up himself. He doesn't have any real prospects. He goes out and he fixes the rigs. Along with him is a crew of 3 other people. One is an explosives expert named Boomer, another guy named Wayne, who operates the crane. And then also, there's a teenager, a kid named Gator, who's like a runaway hitchhiked onto the rig. They're reworking on one of the rigs and they hear a distress signal coming from beneath the water. They're able to find the source of the signal, which is an underwater city called Atlantis. But it turns out to be an abandoned city. Or is it? Because once they dive down and start exploring this place, they realize that some people are living down there. There's a couple of survivors. I don't want to give too much away, but they seem to be descendants of people who were, genetically engineered to live underwater, who were part of an experiment that was going on in this underwater city when the ecological disaster happened. And they seem to be living a pretty simple life. That kind of they worship these computers as gods. But our crew starts to get picked off one at a time. And so our hero, John Doe, he starts investigating what's going on. And he finds out that not only are there these human descendants living down there, there's also something else. There is something else that lives in the depths of the ocean that seems to be responsible for the collapse of the ecosystem and also the death of one of the crew members. As I said before, the main character's name is John Doe, and that is a clue as to what I thought about this character, because he really doesn't have any distinguishing characteristics. I think he may be like the dumbest character that I've ever read about. He does nothing but whine throughout the entire story. Every situation that he finds himself in, he always says things like, "I never wanted this. How did I get here?" Like he's never responsible for anything that happens to him. He's never done anything to deserve his fate. He's just a victim of circumstance. He has a flashback early on in the story where he remembers how he got to this point in his life. Basically, he had a family. He had a wife and a child. And he used to work as a repairman fixing cell phones and computers. But he killed both his wife and his child in an accident. And that's why he's now a drifter. Why he's now a nobody. He's basically cursed to wander the earth because he committed such atrocities. And honestly, I felt nothing for this character. I didn't care whether he lived or not. In fact, I kind of hoped he would die. And it's kind of funny because usually I feel bad for characters who die. Like, I don't want him to die. But with this guy, I was like, yeah, screw you, John Doe. Then there's the rest of the crew, the other 3 guys. Well, there's Gator, the teenage kid, right? And I was kind of hoping that he was going to be the protagonist. Maybe he would be the smart one. Maybe he would be the one who survived. But no, he's actually just as stupid as John Doe. I mean, he's a kid, but still, he's even dumber. He's even more of a victim than John Doe is. Then there's the other 2 guys, Boomer and Wayne. Wayne's kind of a redneck. He's a religious fanatic, and Boomer is a recovering drug addict. So they're all equally screwed up, right? They're all equally damaged goods, and they're all equally helpless. Nobody in this story is competent. Everybody is just a victim. I guess the only person who isn't a victim is the killer. The thing that's killing everybody off, that's not a victim. It's a predator. It's a monster. It is something that evolved in the depths of the ocean after the ecological collapse to fill the power vacuum left by humanity. Now, I do want to say that the writing is excellent. Don Simmons is a great writer, and obviously that's why I had such high expectations for this book, because he has written so many excellent books in the past. The world building is great. You can tell he did a lot of research to make this story believable, and the ending is kind of brilliant. I won't give it away, but it's amazing. The last couple of chapters are amazing, but everything that leads up to that is so stupid. All the characters are idiots. Like I mentioned, the world building is great. Everything about the story is great except for the characters. Like, I wouldn't mind if this was a zombie story. Like, if it was just mindless zombies running around. If the characters weren't so stupid, it could have been great. But because they're so stupid, it's hard to root for them. The reason I'm giving this book a 3 instead of a 1 is because of the last couple of chapters. If the rest of the book was like that, it would have been a 5. But as it is, I think a 3 is fair. If you're a big fan of Don Simmons, I think you'll still enjoy this book. Just don't expect the characters to be as strong as they usually are in his novels. Also, if you like Lovecraft and you like cosmic horror, this is for you. You'll love it. I love the way that he writes about the ocean. The ocean is such a huge presence in this book. You can really feel its power. And he uses that power to create a sense of dread and terror. The deep ocean, it's this dark, mysterious place. We know so little about it. And Don Simmons uses that to his advantage. If you like stories about humanity's arrogance and our hubris, you'll probably like this book. That's another thing that I thought was really well done. You know, we keep finding ourselves in situations where we think we're smarter than we actually are. We think we're more advanced than we actually are. And we keep getting punished for it. And that's what happens in this story. So if you like those things, then I think you'll like this book. But if you're looking for strong characters, then this isn't the book for you. But again, the last couple of chapters are amazing. So I don't want to give the impression that the book is terrible. It's just, I expected more from the characters, that's all. But the ending almost makes up for it, almost. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave me a like. If you want to see more videos like this in the future, hit the subscribe button. I'll see you next time.